Kano, the jewel of West Africa, where the old inspires and shapes the new. Africa's commercial hub, a place where everything you sow grows. A national and international trade hub, where natural resources, economic stability, and forward-thinking leadership combine. Since 2015, Kano has transformed itself to a must-visit destination for investors across the globe. This is Kano, the haven for forward-thinking investors. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje came into power in 2015. So how prepared is Kano State for domestic and international investors?
First of all, Kano is the commercial nerve center of the northern part of Nigeria, and even a commercial nerve center of some West African countries. As you can see, we are always being visited by nationals of West Africa because of commercial activities here in Kano. The first thing that we are doing is to make sure that there is peace and stability. Because without peace, investment is very, very difficult. Investors will not be attracted to come to Kano.
Kano State established what we call KIPA, Kano State Investment Promotion Agency, which deals with investments and investors coming to Kano. Under it, we equally have a one-stop shop for investors. When you go there, all your needs will be addressed, be it land, be it registration, be it tax issue, be it even labor.
Any processing of any investment proposal in Kano State that requires the approval of federal authorities, we take it as also our responsibility to work with the investor to ensure that he gets minimum delay in acquiring those incentives. We also have a responsibility of looking for local investors, because some investors, especially foreign ones, may wish to have local partners. And this we try to do in cooperation with the Kano Chamber of Commerce, the Manufacturer Association, and other trade groups within Kano State.
We create an enabling environment compared to our comparative advantage, especially in agriculture, especially in the production of rice, production of wheat, production of tomato. And we provide an enabling environment by discussing with the farmers to find out what are their actual problems, and then to see how foreign investors can come and build in on what our farmers are doing. For example, our farmers can produce rice, but to process the rice into so many products, you require foreign investors. The same thing with wheat, the same thing with tomato. So, and also, investors can also come and produce the crops themselves, especially that we are blessed with so many dams here, and farming is both during the rainy season and the dry season, and therefore those investors who are interested in agriculture, we provide free land.
We have the highest number of cooperatives in the country. We have formed our farmers into cooperatives, and these farmers, we have trained them on how they can access fundings. They are used to it and they are ready. So partnership with anybody that will come is not going to be something that is difficult. So the state government is there to facilitate that. That is to empower our farmers and then to protect the investor.
Any investor who comes to Kano and wants to invest in any field, and he gives us or our agency the need or the requirement of land for the purpose of setting up that agency, we will immediately make a recommendation to His Excellency the Governor, who always approves the allocation of land to such investors.
Kano is also the largest producer of tomatoes. There is a lot of opportunity in terms of that. Tomato is only one. There is pepper, there is onions, the cash crops, the sesame seed, the hibiscus. We have the biggest factories that process that. We have abundance of that. And most of the neighboring states too that grow that, they bring it down to Kano. So it puts Kano in a position that stands as advantage when it comes to investment.
In Kano, as I speak today, we have about 17 number dams. All these dams have potentials for hydroelectricity generation. Now, these dams are there, some of which are only being utilized for irrigation. They are not being put to their optimum. We will want investments in this regard, in a situation whereby investors from near, far and wide, within and from outside, foreign direct investment should come to Kano so that we should be able to now convert this huge body of waters to generate electricity.
In Kano, we have relative power supply, especially within the industrial sites in the state. And the state government is equally doing its best. We are already at the verge of concluding the Tiga hydropower plant. And then the Chalawa is equally ongoing.
We have already provided a Tiga power supply that is going to meet all the needs of our industries in the next up to 2 to 3 years.
We have suffered a lot during the past from the power supplies, but thanks to the Kano State government now, we are having a uninterrupted power supply, which is helping us a lot.
With the kind of scale at which we are opening Kano up, we are hopeful that there will still be a further investment opportunity for power.
We have the Dangote group of companies that will produce solar energy. We provided the land. And the same thing with a Chinese company, the same thing with an Indian company. So you can see that already we have some investors in the production of electricity through using the solar system. Any other areas for the investors, that is why we are holding the Lagos Kano Economic and Investment Summit, so that we put all our cards on the table for international and local investors to see which areas that they can come in.
When you look at the processing plants of rice, Kano has the highest number of processing plants of rice. Kano has the largest grain market in West Africa, the Dawano market. Kano has the highest number of seed companies, and Kano produces 60% of the seeds in the country, while Nigeria produces 65% of the seeds in West Africa. This shows the advantage Kano has in terms of cultivation.
From Kano, we trade as far as Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, and Togo. They trade with Kano heavily.
Presently, Kano State is going to access over $200 million from the Islamic Development Bank. Chunk of that is going into infrastructure development in terms of irrigation. And that will bring about the issue of cultivation twice or even 3 times in a year.
We have massive infrastructural development in Kano. As I speak to you, we have over 10,000 kilometers of tarred road in Kano metropolis. This includes asphaltic and surface race roads. This has really helped in the economic activities of Kano, in the movements of goods and persons, and freight.
The state is ready for the establishment of the biggest abattoir in the country, and we're ready to partner with whoever is willing to come. We have the design, we have the site, We have everything.
We equally re-engineered and reinvigorated our Kano State Internal Revenue Services to be more efficient in tax administration. We have harmonized a lot of our taxes. From about 200, we brought them down to about 19. And a part of the incentives, given is some tax relief given to investors between 3 and 5 years tax relief.
From the export incentive collected, my MD ventured into the Mahmouda Agro and allied products, and this company has grown to an extent that it is now employing over 3,000 workers, which brings the total workforce to about 5,500 workers.
We have also recently been given an award by the Presidential Ease of Doing Business Committee that is chaired by His Excellency the Vice President, Professor Ayumi Oshimbanjo, that Kano has moved so many places up that it has improved significantly in its own ease of doing business. And on account of that, we have had quite a number of inquiries coming in from international investors who have been viewing developments in Nigeria. We have the Durbar, for instance, that we had the NTDC also give us the proposal to the extent that the Durbar will no longer be the Durbar that you see sometimes you have difficulties in accessing the place.
In Kano, because of our population and with the civil service of over 40 million, the need for housing and housing deficits are very high. So any investor in this regard will smile home because he will have good investment for his money. There is the need, there is the market, there is the population, and there is goodwill as a result from government. Government has established mortgage arrangements for civil servants to be able to participate in the housing scheme. Also, we are trying to develop an economic city within the metropolis. This economic city is well over 250 hectares in terms of land mass. And in this area, we are going to go into modern and sophisticated approach to marketing. As you are aware, Kano, being an ancient center of commerce, is already an existing structure of marketing, nature of sales, and general commercial activities. Now we want to marry our history with the recent development in the world. So this is one of the areas that investors coming to Kano should be interested.
As we know, the Kano International Airport is the very first international airport in Africa. It became the gateway into Africa, and it's going to go back to that position, so that whoever is going anywhere in Africa, from Africa will come into Nigeria from wherever he is, come in here. So we need to set that stage. We are looking at this happening in the next couple of months, not years.
Kano State is endowed with a lot of soil minerals. We have an area in Kano called the Railway area. This area is well known worldwide for solid minerals. There's also a glass industry in the pipeline because an area in Dambata area has a lot of silica sand, which is used in the production of glass.
Whoever is interested in coming to invest in solid minerals in Kano is considered as coming in to do a prime investment. And therefore the state is not only committed to facilitating access for licenses and approvals, but the state is also committed to providing any further relief necessary.
In the field of education, that one too is another area that people can invest, because being the most popular state in the federation, of course we have the most number of youth here. Despite the two universities we have, we are still sending our students abroad. Therefore, for those who would like to invest in education, we welcome them. We provide free land for them, and also we assure them that we can have a synergy with them to ensure that we are sending our children into their educational institutions.
We have also what we call the brownfield. Brownfield investment means existing industries that have closed in Kano, for which we look for other investors to come and invest. We are working in this regard. So recently, an acquisition was made on one of the largest African textile mills, called the African Textile, here in Kano by a foreign investor.
Kano is a place to be. Kano is a place to have investment because there is going to be good return for any investment.
Come and invest in Kano, the center of commerce of sub-Saharan Africa and the continent.
Come to invest in Kano. Of course, it's a very good business.
Come and explore the investment opportunities in Kano. It is good business.